Hello everybody! In this video, I'm going to be showcasing how to unlock the achievement Breaking the Log. This achievement requires that you defeat the orcs setting up camp in Silver Oak without receiving damage. Specifically, this means that you have to find a node in the Silver Oak Forest, which is in the Wild Moon adventure, and then you have to defeat the combat encounter of that node without receiving any HP damage. So, armor is okay. You can let your units take armor damage, which means that physical damage can be directed to them as long as it doesn't exceed the unit's armor rating. And that's going to be important for the party that I'm bringing. So I'm bringing the same party that I used for my Wild Moon walkthrough, which is the Knight, who's going to be doing the tanking and the stunning, then the Ranger and Azra, who are both going to be doing the majority of the damage here. So, let's start a Wild Moon on normal difficulty. It doesn't matter. You can still earn the achievement on easy difficulty. And we have to look around the map for the specific encounter. Now, I already see it, but if you don't have it here, what you have to do is exit to the atlas, and then you have to actually leave the adventure in order to reload the map, and then get different nodes. So let me reload this and see if it actually isn't here this time around. It usually is. Okay, nice. This is actually the earliest that I've ever seen it. It's this green flag here. It's a dice roll event that has an orc. So let's load it up so I can showcase to you what the encounter actually is. But first I have to get through this, so let's skip ahead. Alright, so I just made it out of that combat encounter, and so the next one up is the orc one. Now, let's just say that I was really worried about not being able to make it through. I can use the tent right now to see if I get invigoration from it, and then I can be ready to deal with this situation. Now, I'm going to show you something here that you don't want to happen. I'm going to choose Infiltrate the Encampment, and I've been successful. So, the orcs did not catch us, and we were able to make it out without any fighting. That is what you do not want to do, because you're not going to get the achievement that way. So, now what I'm going to have to do is exit out, and then reload the map again, so I have to leave, and then start again, and then make it to that. So don't do that if you're trying to get the achievement. Don't end up like me, even though I chose that on purpose. Now, once you see this enough times, you're going to start to roll your eyes at the number of times that it shows up at an early point. What you want to happen, or what you want to have happen, I should say, grammar, is this thing shows up really late in the adventure. Now, of course, that does mean that it's more annoying if you mess up and then spend all that time trying to get to the combat encounter just for you to, have to restart. More time was wasted. However, if your units are more leveled up, which is pretty much guaranteed since you're going to be making it through all these different nodes, you have more power to be able to get through this combat encounter. So, if I were you, I would recommend reloading again and again until you get this node somewhere higher up here towards the end of the adventure. Now, it's never going to be the second to last node. The second to last nodes, just like the last node, which is the boss node, will always be set in stone. So you're always going to get the weaponsmith, shopkeeper, and then the purple choice node. I don't remember what that one's called. But you're always going to have those. So it has to be the second to last at the very latest. So that's something that you should hope for. So this green node that I have here, this purple tent node that I have, or this purple wizard here, that's pretty much the latest that you can hope to get it at. So, if you want to get the achievement and you want to maximize your chances of it, that is my advice to you. Alright, hello again. I got some somewhat bad RNG earlier, so I just reloaded the adventure so that way I could get better RNG, and what do you know, now I'm in a pretty good shape to be taking on this combat encounter. Now, I doubt that things are going to be going as well for you as they went for me consistently. I actually got a damage boost to the Ranger, so now all of his attacks are doing just a little bit more damage. Not that it matters too much, because having him at level 2 usually puts his poison arrow damage at 5, which when you combine that with Keen Focus means it's 7, which is just enough to kill an Ashravan Enchantress, so that's really handy. Now, it's going to be just enough to kill an Ashravan Warlock when I combine it with Keen Focus, so that's also really handy. Now, what I did with Azra, she's the only other person who's at level 2. Everyone else is still at level 1. But what I did with Azra is I got Shiv, because this is her highest damage ability, potentially, besides Onyx Arrows. And now I'm just going to get Shadow Strike, since it's a nice extra way of giving her some mobility. Although I rarely ever use this ability. Mainly the reason to get her to level 3 is just because of the stat gain, since now she's going to be dealing 6 to 8 damage with her Arrow of Sorrow, and with Onyx Arrows now she's going to be able to deal a whopping 12 damage to a target. And if you combine that with Keen Focus, it's going to be 15 damage total, so that's nice. And this is also going to be really high. If you can't tell, this is her attack damage times 1.5, so when Keen Focus turns this damage into 9, you multiply that by 1.5, and you should get 4.5 plus the 9, which is 13 to 14, depending on if it rounds up. And based on the fact that this is 11, which is 10.5 rounded up, then I'm guessing it's going to be 14 damage here. So she's going to be dealing a lot of damage here. So now, let's go to this encounter and choose Fight Them. So this is the only way to get the combat encounter that we're looking for. So as you can see here, there's an Orc Shaman. He does magic damage, ranged magic damage, so he's going to be the biggest threat here. Meanwhile, the rest of these guys all do physical damage, so there's a little bit of safety here. Now this Orc, he's pretty much just a liability. Or, well, not really a liability for the enemies, because it's not like he's holding them back, but there's very little that he's actually going to be able to accomplish, because the Poke Oak is going to keep on harassing him. Now, one thing that I could try to do is summon the Verdant Defender right away and try to take out the Orc Shaman by sending it all the way over there as a suicide bomber. However, it's going to take HP damage if I do that. So that's not an option. So instead, I'm just going to poison him. So this will help make sure that he's closer to death. Now, because I have a couple of enemies that are going to be able to get a turn right away, I don't want to get too close to them, so I'm just going to move up. Now the Poke Oaks don't really have anything to do, that's fine. So the Orc Archer is the trickiest enemy to deal with here. I can't show him on the queue right now because he just doesn't show up, but he has an effective range of 6, just like the Flaren, so he can move up 1, 2, and then have a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, which is exactly where the Sylvan Elf is. So what I'm going to do is just move him up a little bit, and then by keeping him here, I'm going to get Keen Focus, and so he's going to get a little bit stronger. Now, as for the rest of these guys, I'm probably just going to keep Azra here as well, because once again, she's in range of getting hit by the enemy, and we don't want that. And finally, I have the Knight, so I'm just going to move her down here. And this is a little showcase of just how much range this guy has. Oh good, the Orc's dead. So let me move just a little bit over here. Actually, no, I do want to gain a little bit more range. So let's blow up that barrel. That's going to come over here in range of the Poke Oak. Yeah, push him away. And so there we go. He targeted the Knight. Now that was a very, very risky thing for me to do. The reason why is because the Orc Archer, he could have shot the Ranger instead. So that was actually a dumb move on my part. Now let me just finish off this guy. The thing is, I just called it dumb, but I was able to reliably bank on the fact that he didn't actually go and target the Ranger, because I've seen him not target the Ranger before, so it's okay. Now, because I happen to have the Sylvan Elf, I got him as a companion, I'm able to use him to take out this Orc Shaman here. And as you can see, just having my party leveled up a little bit more has been proving very, very handy to me. Like, it's working wonders. So now I can come over here and then backstab this guy with Shiv, and then he's already going to be killed. So let me just do that, and there we go. He's dead. So this combat encounter didn't really pose a big threat to me at all, and I got the achievement now. However, I relied a lot on the fact that I had my units leveled up and they had high enough stats to deal with these guys. And so if I didn't have my units leveled up and I didn't get some pretty good RNG beforehand, this achievement would be a lot harder. But I don't want things to be hard for you, and so instead I recommend just reloading it again and again until you get it at least past the second set of bridges that are here on this map. So I hope this was helpful. Best of luck to you. Have a good day. Bye.